Welcome to Shots. My name is Rogerio and I will be your host. Beside me, I have my co-host and camera expert, Benji. Shots is a photography show for beginners where we teach you the basics of shooting. Like a famous songwriter once said, shots, 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 everybody. In today's episode, we have Benji, our co-host, and someone who you guys have not met before, Eddie, our cameraman. So, as a beginner in photography, what kind of equipment should I be looking for?
When first starting out in photography, a lot of beginners really have a mistake of investing into camera equipment like DSLRs before they even start, shooting a single picture. When they really want to try to get serious into it, they spend about $300, $400, $500 on DSLRs that they might not really like, and so
and at some points not even be able to understand fully.
Exactly, and so I think Benji may agree with me here, but the camera equipment that most people use that I recommend when starting straight out is actually smartphone.
I agree.
Yeah.
For sure.
And because it's so readily accessible, even before equipment, some fundamentals that people need to know before even jumping into cameras is composition, and which I would argue is way more important than the camera equipment itself.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you, Eddie. I think using the camera that you kind of have on you all the time is just much more convenient. And the quality of images that you're getting out of camera phones nowadays is actually pretty decent for the beginner that's actually looking to get into doing photography as a regular hobby, and they want something maybe a little bit better than their phone. I guess they're kind of looking at something more along the lines of a point-and-shoot camera or something like that. Do you want to maybe talk about that a bit?
I don't know the exact point and shoots off the top of my head that I would personally recommend, but as in the last episode, we talked about exposure and controlling the three elements
Right.
of exposure, which is aperture, ISO, and shutter speed, and to really master photography, it's important to get a camera that can actually control those
Right.
elements,
Right.
and also controlling the focus zones to really bring out the creativity
Yes.
inside those.
And that's kind of what I was getting at with users that want to have that functionality and have that control over their shots. They most of the time can't get that with a cell phone. So
Exactly.
upgrading to something that allows you to control that, like a Sony X100 or a Canon S100. Those are both really great cameras that you can use, point and shoots, available for under $500. So really not too expensive, and they're also pretty portable, so you can bring them around with you.
Yeah, and in terms
very
of
easily.
camera equipment, camera bodies really depreciate really quickly.
Yes.
And so I don't know how much experience that you have with used,
I don't have any experience with used equipment,
but used is much
Yeah.
cheaper
Yeah.
than new. Benji was talking about the RX 100. If you can actually get that used, you can actually pick it up for around $250 to around $300
yeah,
from its retail price about $500, and that's an insane start
Yeah.
to a photography journey.
and when you buy the camera brand new, you're gonna, as soon as you walk out the store, you're already losing 20 to 30% of the value on it.
Exactly.
If you want to resell it, so buying used is definitely a good idea when it comes to camera bodies or lenses. Do you want to talk maybe a little bit about lenses? Give a brief introduction about lenses.
Yeah, so there are two different types of lenses. One is a zoom lens and the other is a prime lens. Now, a zoom lens, of course, zooms in and out, whereas a prime lens is fixed, has a fixed field of view.
So that was a great discussion, guys. Thank you, Eddie, for being here.
Yeah.
And thank you, Benji, once again for being here. Make sure you guys tune in to our next episode because we will have a special guest and we're going to be talking more about this digital culture taking